Welcome back to another episode with Fight Pass with Mitch, presented by Notorious Pulls Radio. And for this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Bellator 297, Vadim Nemkov versus Yoel Romero. This fight has two belts on the line, so before we get into it, remember, if you're new to our show, please leave a like, follow, and subscribe us on all social media platforms, and let's get into it. Bellator 297, taking place at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. Vadim Nemkov, the current light heavyweight champion, going against, as you all know, the monster, Yoel Romero, number 3 ranked light heavyweight, 15-6. Not much to speak about. Nemkov, a very decorated light heavyweight, fighting out of Russia for Fedor Emelianenko, the legend, the Hall of Famer. His last win was against, obviously, the former UFC fighter, who's now a Bellator fighter, and that's Corey Anderson. Picked up a great win over Julius Angelikas via Kimura. Had a win over Phil Davis, Ryan Bader. He's on a current 10-fight win streak with Bellator, which is absolutely impressive. His opponent, as you know, is the 46-year-old Yoel Romero. This guy is fighting for a title at 46 years old, but he still looks game and as dangerous as he's ever did. He's entered the UFC at like 40. So this is one of the most durable guys that has ever graced the earth. He's obviously coming over a great win over Melvin Manhoef via knockout. He has also had a good win over Alex Polizzi via elbows, TKO. And he's been on a little bit of a losing streak prior to that. But I do feel Romero is charged up. This fight against Nemkov is going to be really messy. I do give Romero a huge puncher's chance. Nemkov is a very well-rounded champion. He can strike very well, he can grapple, he can wrestle, and he carries power. That's what makes Nemkov such a great champion. He's very skilled, and his game and his mixed martial arts continues to grow. Yoel Romero is an absolute freak of nature. The man is 46 years old. I cannot even imagine at 46 years old to be fighting for a title in one of the best divisions. Like I said, if your Romero wins, I'll be hype. But I do believe Nemkov is the younger, more active champion. He's going to put on a clinic against Yoel Romero, and this might be his last fight, depending how much damage he takes. The next fight, the co-main event, is even a crazier fight to me, in my opinion, because you have Sergio Pettis, the current Bantamweight Champion, who's going against Patrício Pitbull, who's the current Featherweight Champion of the Bellator division and a former Lightweight Champion in the Bellator division. So this is an insane situation where the man is a champion at 145, even moved up to 155, defeated Michael Chandler, then vacated his belt, has defended his featherweight title a few times, and now is taking the risk to drop down to bantamweight to have 3 belts in 3 separate divisions, which would be absolutely insane. If he comes down, makes weight, and beats Sergio Pettis. Well, we're going to get to see that Saturday night. A lot depends on the weight cut. If the weight cut goes smooth, it's obviously a clear advantage for Pitbull. He's obviously the stronger fighter between the two. I do believe he is the better fighter. I believe as long as the weight cut goes good, he drops the weight healthy without doing too much damage to his body, I believe he comes Saturday night and he's going to be a double champ. He'll be the bantamweight champion and the featherweight champion of Bellator. I think that's going to be a huge, huge night and a huge accolade to be able to do that. Sergio Pettis is not going to be no pushover. Former UFC fighter, Bellator champ. He's on a 4-fight win streak currently. He's faced very top-level bantamweights. He has proven that he has still got it, and he still has that dog in him. And this fight is going to make or break his career. I do believe a huge win for Pettis really solidifies him in the pound-for-pound list when it comes to MMA fighters, because Patrício Pitbull is that decorated of a fighter. I do believe that this fight could have easily been the main event or been an event on its own, because it has that much significance. Guys, you really have to tune in this big fight. But the next fight that we're going to get into is Corey Anderson against Phil Davis. The great thing about this is that both of them are former UFC fighters that have made great runs in Bellator. They're actually doing phenomenal in Bellator. Corey Anderson has obviously fought for the title, fell up short against Vadim Nemkov, but had great wins against Ryan Bader, Melvin Manhoff, and picked up a nice good streak of wins. His opponent, Phil Davis, is also on a current 2-fight win streak, and his past loss was actually to Vadim Nemkov. So this is very interesting, both fighters, and Phil Davis beat the legend Lyoto Machida, which is obviously a great honorable win. So these both fighters are going to get into the octagon and settle it, and I think this is a very high-level fight. Corey Anderson, Phil Davis. This could have easily been a co-main event. Like I said, Bellator is stacking this card. They're giving the fight fans exactly what they want, giving the biggest names they have all on one card. Who do I think has the edge? I like Corey Anderson in this fight, and I'll tell you why. I think Davis has better hand skills, but that grit wrestling, that Jersey wrestling that Corey Anderson brings, I do believe this fight will be taken to the ground, and Corey Anderson will finish this fight via ground and pound. It's going to be a dirty, messy fight. And I believe that if Phil Davis has any chance, he must keep it on the feet, and he has to try to knock out Anderson standing up. That's his only chance. If this fight goes to the ground, this is going to be smooth sailing for Corey Anderson. Make sure you guys tune in. And remember, this is your host, Fight Pass with Mitch. And if you really want to support our page, remember, do a like, follow, and subscribe on us. And remember, we have some of the best merchandise at notoriouspools.com. Make sure you check us out. We'll see you soon. Your host.